Hey everybody, welcome to the Diabetes Empowerment Summit. I am your co-host Danielle Hargenrader, and I'm very excited to talk today with Valerie Manso, who is the Vice President of Sales and Education for BluTech Lenses. She's going to tell you all about why we all need these BluTech lenses that I've been using for over a year and are everything when it comes to eye fatigue and helping me get better sleep at night. So Valerie, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Danielle. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So if you could tell us, just starting out right off the bat, what is the link between diabetes and the use of BluTech lenses? How can that help those of us living with diabetes?
Well, from a chronobiological perspective, everyone, I think, needs to understand the importance of sleep, and most particularly if you're suffering with diabetes. Because if your body is not metabolizing correctly, everything gets out of whack. It gets out of whack and leads to some very significant issues, most particularly for those that suffer with diabetes.
Yeah.
We're talking about increased weight. We're talking about the hormones getting out of balance. And when that happens, it leads to fatigue and so many other kinds of health issues. The reality is sleep and sleep studies and sleep health, it's all fairly new. I don't know if you're aware, but in 2017, the 3 North American researchers were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work in circadian rhythm study.
Wow.
That's just a couple years ago.
So I could not agree more, and I'm so glad that scientists are out there doing studies on how incredibly important our circadian rhythm is to maintaining all areas of our health. I don't know if you have more to say about what they found in that study. Do you have any more to
There are a number of things. I mean, I can go back in time and think of a very major study that was published, and it talked about the importance of sleep and the impact of poor sleep on the human condition. Things like increased heart disease, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, increased obesity. In children, increased incidence of symptoms that look like ADHD. And so,
wow.
Yeah, all from lack of sleep. I mean, memory lapses, increased incidence of cancer. It goes on and on. So sleep is such an important issue for all of us, whether we are 100% healthy or, like most of us, have one or other minor problem or a major problem like diabetes.
Absolutely. And so as far as wearing the BluTech lenses go, I know for me, I've been running a business from my home for 10 years. And for the first 8 years of that time, I really wasn't very mindful of the blue light situation, about how that was, permeating my eyes and affecting pretty much everything, like you said. And now when I put these on, which I generally still tend to do after I'm already noticing a little bit of eye strain, because I think all of us have some issues with doing things at the time that it's best for us. But in general, I've definitely noticed just feeling stronger. Is that just my mind? Are my eyes getting stronger? Or
it is not your mind. Let me tell you a little story.
Okay.
I love life stories because they really illustrate how things work. So I'm traveling with a young lady who works with Clear Vision Optical, in fact, and we were in Hawaii. We were going to be in Hawaii for 5 days visiting doctors' offices. It's a hard duty, but someone had to do it. And so it fell to the two of us. And she got fit with her first pair of BluTech lenses. I fit her glasses on when we landed in Hawaii because she had just picked them up. She wears them all afternoon, evening. We meet the next morning, and she said, I don't know if it's the sound of the water, but I had this really vivid dream. I said, okay, did you sleep okay? She said, oh, yeah. So we work all day. She's wearing her BluTech glasses. Morning number 2, we get up, we have breakfast together in the morning, and she says the same thing. Morning number 3, she said, I don't know what's going on. I have never had vivid dreams 3 nights in a row. I said, Alana, what are you wearing? My lenses? BluTech lenses help me sleep better? I said, yes. Yes, they do. And in fact, it's proven. There are two studies that come to mind. One was a group of students at the Nova Southeastern University College of Optometry. And for 5 days, from 6 p.m. till bedtime, they wore BluTech lenses. Their sleep was measured through actigraphy. And then on day 6, they had cognition testing. They all, same set of students, did the same thing with clear lenses. Wearing BluTech lenses after just 5 days, they had a 96% increase in melatonin production.
Whoa.
As measured through their saliva. They slept longer and slept deeper. And there's another study that was done last year, 2 years ago, at the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. So,
My
I mean,
hometown.
yeah, your hometown.
Yeah.
So it is proven. I mean, from a statistical and physical perspective, and anecdotally, people will tell you over and over again, you wear these lenses, you sleep better. You sleep better, you feel better.
Yeah.
And as well as, of course, the ease of eye strain and all of those kinds of things that are associated with sitting in front of digital devices all day long and watching flat screen TVs at nighttime and so on. So
absolutely.
it's not in your mind, Danielle. It really works that way.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that, because I'm into health in general, but I have a pretty solid, routine and regimen that I've kind of intuitively made for my own life over the years. But when I notice something different, I'm very keen on making the connection, and I can definitely make the connection between the BluTech lenses and just generally feeling less fatigue in my eyes, feeling like I can continue working and be more productive and not be distracted. And for those of us living with diabetes, no matter what type it is, we generally have challenges with sleep because we have to get up, check our blood sugar, we may be wearing a continuous glucose monitor that may be going off, we may be wearing a pump that may be making noises. So any help we can get with increasing our ability to stay asleep for longer periods of time is, I would say, generally a welcome addition to our kind of toolbox, as I say, of the things that we can turn to better take care of ourselves, and especially with our eyes. And so what is, I know you had said something, or maybe it was just me, about LED lights, which is a whole other whole other thing that is everywhere nowadays. And does BluTech help with blocking whatever is coming at us from that? Okay.
Yeah, so when we think in terms of indoor blue light, I mean, outdoors, the sun is the highest and strongest emitter of blue light. I mean, that stands to reason. You wear a good quality pair of sunglasses, polarized preferably, outdoors, and you're doing a good deal in limiting and blocking the blue light outdoors. And that's important because that's the piece of the blue light of the light spectrum that could actually cause damage. Indoors, however, it's not an issue of damage. It's an issue of health. If we were to look at the transmittance curves, how devices emit certain things, so you would find that there's a correlation with the peak in the blue light range, and it peaks at the same place as the sun. So what happens is the blue light from our devices and LED, because our devices are LED devices, so it's flat screen TVs, it's our lighting, it's our smartphones, it's almost everything that we touch. It peaks in the same place that the sun does first thing in the morning. When blue light enters our eyes outdoors, it actually causes a physical reaction. There's a cell within our retina that sends a message to the brain, and the message it sends is stop producing melatonin.
The very thing we need for sleep.
The very thing we need for sleep. So what happens indoors, particularly in the evenings, even though the intensity is not like the sun, it's the range. It's the message that's being sent that says, stop producing melatonin. Harvard, back in 2011, did a major study, and what they found is blue light at night can suppress up to 53% of our melatonin production.
Well, that's significant.
It is significant. And we need to produce melatonin 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, as well as during sleep. Right? So let's say, and a lot of people take over-the-counter melatonin, or have a glass of bourbon or whatever your particular sleep regimen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also found that light is more powerful than any kind of medication or sleep aid.
Yes. That doesn't
All
surprise
right?
me. Yeah.
So the light overrides the sleep aid that you've taken, and you have difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep.
Wow.
So it's really important, particularly from about 6 o'clock in the evening, to start blocking as much of that blue light as possible. And, you know, people say, well, can't I just put on night shift on my phone? Well, that's okay for your phone, but are you going to put night shift on your 60-inch flat screen TV?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are
Good
you going to put
question.
it, you can't. Are you going to put it on your lighting? You
Yeah.
can't.
Right.
We cannot screen protect life.
Right. That's, yeah. And so let's just talk about one other thing, because I would imagine, based on, you know, running this summit for 4 years, and we are big on statistics and seeing, you know, who's tuning in and where they're tuning in from and which is mobile. And so I'd say more than 50% of people watching this interview right now are probably watching from the both blessing and curse that is the cell phone of nowadays society,
Right?
right? Everyone has one, and everyone is sometimes almost zombie-like, just always scrolling and looking. And so can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about how the BluTech, because I think of all things, all other things, certainly right now in the age of COVID, where people are inside more, spending more time looking at whatever they might be looking at, it's whatever it is that's coming out of a screen. So on this little box that we're staring at all the time, how is BluTech helping us for that? Is it all the same, or is there more with the cell phone?
Well, with any LED device,
Yeah.
at the peak emission, which is, let's get technical, 455 nanometers, that's the peak emission in the blue light range. BluTech blocks 41 to 46%, depending on the type of BluTech lens. So you have one type, I'm wearing a different type, right? Okay. Yours is more gray, mine is champagne color. Mine has I prefer this color. That's all that
I'm going to get a new pair. I'm going to get this champagne color. I'm
Okay.
with my gray, but I like them because they're very funky, and I like blue and purple, and I like these colors.
Yeah,
so
and they look awesome on you. Now, so Valerie, why don't we block all? Because if we block all, then it'll change the colors that we look at. And I'm sorry, but I like to see life true to life in color, right? So I like to be able to see the blues and the grays behind you, you know, and I like to look at something and see that it's red. If we blocked all the blue, then we would not be able to see colors true to life. So that's why it's a portion of. But BluTech lenses block more at 455 nanometers than any other product that exists out there. The vast majority do very little at that particular place in the spectrum. So BluTech is really the gold standard when it comes to blue light protection. Yeah. And we know that it delivers true to life color because it's been tested. And, you know, I could get, again, technical if we chose, but we'll not walk down that path. The other piece of this, I don't suffer with diabetes. I suffer with migraine. And migraine sufferers, and I'm sure that some of your participants also suffer with migraine. Migraine needs to have a balancing of the blue and green. And there are some tinted products that are orange or pink that actually block a lot of blue across the whole range, but they also diminish the green. And for those of us that suffer with migraine, we need to have a balancing of the two, and BluTech balances those out. So my migraine frequency has been decreased by about 80% since wearing BluTech lenses for the last almost 6 years.
Wow. And this might be a silly question, but I always like to ask because certainly people with diabetes like to know the prescribed regimen. Is there too much wearing of BluTech, or can we just wear them like from the time we wake up till the time we go to bed? And
I wear them 24/7.
Okay.
You know, I have a prescription, so you can wear them with and without prescription, depending on your eyewear needs. And I wear them from the moment that I wake up in the morning till when I go to bed at nighttime.
And if somebody has contact lenses, can they wear the contact lenses and then put the BluTech in front?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I'm asking because I don't, and I just want to make sure if anybody's out there having questions about if it's okay for this or that.
Yeah, especially as I said. So there's a couple. Let's say you wear contact lenses. Okay, so during the day, don't worry about your BluTech unless you're sitting in front of a screen, right? Then pop them on, and when you're away from the screen, take them off. However, from a sleep perspective, remember, we need to start having melatonin be produced 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. So what I tell my patients is 6 o'clock, pop them on. Or children, get home from school, put them on. Wear them till bedtime. By then, your body has developed the melatonin, and when you lay down to sleep, 2, 3, 4 breaths, and you're gone.
Yeah, that's the ideal, desire, I think, for most people. Just a few
Yes.
deep breaths and off to sleep.
Off to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And BluTech will help you do that.
yeah, beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Because you seem to have an incredible wealth of knowledge about not only this, but many other things. Anything else you'd like to add for anybody watching out there?
I could talk for hours, but I won't. I would just say thank you very much for the opportunity to share the BluTech story.
Absolutely.
Participants need to understand they can get BluTech from their eye care professional, from optometrists, from opticians. There are some sellers online that sell BluTech lenses, and BluTech all have some residual color.
Yeah.
If it is clear, it is not going to be as effective as a BluTech lens. We really are the gold standard.
Yeah.
And again, thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us and answering all of my questions. And for everybody out there watching, it will be directly below Valerie's interview, but they have so kindly offered a 20% discount for anybody watching the Diabetes Empowerment Summit. So you can click below, find out the email address, and I don't want to butcher it right now, but it will be directly below the video. And you can email them. They will send you a link for a 20% discount code. And I would highly recommend taking advantage of it because it has definitely changed my eye fatigue. I think it's probably given me better sleep, although gratefully I have had a very, I won't say strict, but workable sleep routine for a long time because I know how valuable sleep is to my health. And yeah, and go get your 20% discount code and get your BluTech lenses because like I said, I don't promote anything I don't use, and I'm very proud to be using these and to be sharing this with the community because I highly, highly believe that they change our ability to have better sleep and use our precious eyes to the best of their ability. So yeah, thank you so much, Valerie. And for everybody out there watching, I hope you enjoyed. Click the link below and we'll see you on the next interview.
Bye-bye.